For thousands of years, Earth's oceans have held secrets we can't even begin to imagine. Despite centuries of exploration and the most advanced technologies at our disposal, over 80% of the ocean remains unexplored. It's a vast, mysterious frontier, stretching far below the surface where sunlight can't penetrate. And it's within this immense darkness that the most extraordinary secret of all has remained hidden, a cloaked city, ancient and alien, teeming with life far more advanced than our own. The story begins with a seemingly ordinary deep-sea expedition, one of countless missions dedicated to mapping the ocean floor. A team of marine biologists, geologists, and engineers had been working aboard the vessel Aegis Horizon, navigating through one of the deepest points of the Pacific Ocean. Their objective was routine: gather data on seismic activity and investigate anomalies in the seabed, things like underwater volcanoes or tectonic shifts. But what they found was far from ordinary. It started with a sonar blip, a signal so peculiar that it immediately drew the attention of the ship's lead technician, Dr. Elena Marquez. At first, it looked like a glitch, a massive, perfectly geometric formation buried beneath layers of silt. As they adjusted the equipment and recalibrated the sonar, the images became clearer. A vast, sprawling structure emerged on their screens, its symmetry too perfect to be natural. Towers, domes, and what looked like pathways stretched across a hidden plateau nearly 10 miles wide. It was impossible to ignore the patterns. This was no coral reef or geological phenomenon. They had stumbled upon something engineered. "It's a city," whispered Elena, her voice trembling with disbelief. The entire crew gathered around the monitors, their faces illuminated by the eerie glow of the screens. Nobody dared say it aloud, but the unspoken question hung heavy in the air: who built it? As the Aegis Horizon descended, a remote-controlled submersible equipped with high-definition cameras, the team's excitement turned to unease. The deeper the submersible traveled, the more they noticed something strange. The water grew warmer, pulsating with faint, rhythmic currents, almost as if the ocean itself was alive and breathing. And then, the cloaking field revealed itself. At first, it appeared as a shimmering distortion, a wavering blur that seemed to ripple through the water like heat rising off asphalt. As the submersible pressed forward, the distortion gave way, revealing a breathtaking sight. The city was no longer an abstract sonar image, it was real, and it was alive. Bioluminescent structures pulsed with vibrant colors, casting an ethereal glow over the landscape. Towers spiraled upward, their surfaces covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change as if responding to the submersible's presence. Streams of light flowed between the buildings, forming a network of energy that hummed with a frequency too low for human ears to detect but palpable enough to feel. The crew aboard the Aegis Horizon was silent, their awe mingled with an undercurrent of fear. Something about the city felt aware. As if it were watching them. Then, it happened. The cloaked city spoke. Not in words, but through vibrations and light. Patterns of color danced across the structures, creating a visual language that was both alien and intuitive. The team's linguist, Dr. Ravi Patel, worked furiously to decode the messages, but the meaning became clear even before he could articulate it. The city wasn't just a collection of buildings, it was an organism, a sentient entity connected to the alien species that inhabited it. And they were making contact. The Oberyn, as they called themselves, were an aquatic species that had existed on Earth long before humanity's rise. They had watched us grow, evolve, and dominate the surface world, all while remaining hidden beneath the waves. Their cloaking technology, powered by a fusion of biological and quantum mechanics, had shielded them from detection for millennia. But now, their hand was forced. The Oberyn's survival was tied intricately to the health of Earth's oceans, and humanity's actions had brought them to the brink of collapse. Rising temperatures, plastic pollution, and acidification were tearing apart the delicate ecosystems the Oberyn depended on. And so, they had no choice but to reveal themselves. Their message was clear: humanity must change, or we all perish. The revelation of the invisible city sent shockwaves around the world. News of the Oberyn spread like wildfire, dominating headlines, social media, and dinner table conversations. Reactions were as varied as they were intense. Some hailed the Oberyn as saviors, a wake-up call for humanity to finally take responsibility for its actions. Others saw them as a threat, an alien force imposing its will on Earth. Conspiracy theories ran rampant, with claims that the invisible city was a government hoax or a prelude to invasion. Global leaders convened emergency summits to address the Oberyn's ultimatum. The Oberyn, communicating through visual projections and harmonic frequencies, provided a chilling demonstration of what could happen if humanity failed to act. They simulated an ecological collapse in a controlled area of the ocean, showing how dead zones would expand, fisheries would collapse, and weather patterns would become more violent and unpredictable. The message was unmistakable: Earth's balance was fragile, and humanity was tipping the scales toward disaster. Amid the chaos, humanity faced a profound reckoning. Activists took to the streets, demanding immediate action on climate change and ocean conservation. Corporations scrambled to pivot toward sustainable practices, while scientists worked around the clock to understand the Oberyn's technology and how it could be used to heal the planet. Yet, resistance remained. Powerful industries and political factions pushed back, unwilling to relinquish their profits and power, even in the face of extinction. The tension reached a boiling point when a coalition of nations attempted to breach the invisible city, seeking to exploit its advanced technology. The Oberyn's response was swift and decisive. They disabled the intruding vessels with electromagnetic pulses, rendering them inoperable without causing harm to the crews. The message was clear: cooperation, not conquest, was the only path forward. As weeks turned into months, a fragile alliance began to form. The Oberyn shared their knowledge with humanity, teaching us how to repair the damage we had caused. They introduced technologies that could clean the oceans, restore coral reefs, and capture carbon from the atmosphere. But their assistance came with a caveat: humanity had to commit to long-term change. This wasn't a quick fix, it was a partnership built on mutual survival. The story of the invisible city became a turning point in human history. It forced us to confront the consequences of our actions and make choices that would shape the future of our planet. Some saw it as a second chance, a rare opportunity to set things right. Others viewed it as an indictment, a stark reminder of how far we had fallen. In the end, the fate of Earth's oceans, and the Oberyn, depended on humanity's willingness to change. The invisible city's lights continued to shine beneath the waves, a beacon of hope and a warning of what could be lost. And as the world looked toward the future, one question lingered in the minds of all who had witnessed the revelation. Would we rise to the challenge, or would we let the light fade forever?